I thought I understood family. I mean, I grew up with a mom, a dad, a sister, two cousins, and an aunt we don't talk to because she stole our blender in 2009. That is it. That's the whole family tree. Simple, linear. If I want to know how someone's related to me, I just open my genealogy app and boom a straight line of people who barely tolerate each other. Then I went to the Philippines, and suddenly, everybody was family. Everybody. My first day there, I went to a small sari-sari store to buy water. I asked the girl behind the counter, "Do you have cold bottled water?" She smiled and said, "Yes, eight, eight." She called me eight. I looked around, thinking maybe she was talking to someone behind me. I don't speak Tagalog, but I knew eight meant big sister. I'm an only child on my dad's side, and on my mom's side, I'm definitely not Filipino. But this girl looked me straight in the face with full confidence, like I was the lost sister she'd been searching for. I hadn't even been in the country for 20 minutes. I bought the water and walked away, confused but hydrated. Then I went to a mall to find a SIM card. The guard greeted me with, "Good morning, ma'am." And then the woman at the counter called me eight again. The janitor sweeping the floor also looked up and said, "Inga eight," like we shared a childhood together. At this point, I was 99% sure there was a glitch in the Filipino matrix. I mean, how many siblings do they think I have? 6? 20? I was starting to question my own mother. But, oh, it gets better. Later that day, I met up with a Filipino friend who lives in Manila. She wanted to introduce me to her family. I thought, that's sweet. Maybe I'll meet her mom and dad. Nope. I met 14 people. And that was just the first wave. We walked into her house, and it looked like a full clan meeting. Everyone was there: Tita, Tito, Kuya, 8 Lola, Lolo. And 4 cousins who weren't even cousins, but just neighbors they adopted into the family because they shared a plate of pants at once. I introduced myself like a normal person. "Hi, I'm Sarah." And suddenly, every single person in the house had a title. There was Tita Brenda, who immediately tried to feed me 5 different snacks, even though I said, "I'm full" 10 times. There was Kuya J, who introduced himself as, "You're Kuya now," like I had no say in the matter. There was a Ninong who wasn't my godfather, but insisted he could be if I needed one. And there was a baby, no more than a year old, who stared at me like she also recognized me as family. But the craziest thing? They all treated me like they had known me for years. Not minutes, not hours, years. I'm talking, "Do you have a boyfriend? Are you eating enough? Do you want slippers? Do you want to sleep here? Are you comfortable?" I just arrived in the country and suddenly I had 40 new relatives. But that wasn't the weird part. The weird part came when I asked my friend to explain who was actually related to her. And she said the most terrifying sentence I have ever heard in my life. "Actually, we're not all related by blood." Excuse me? Not related? Then why does everyone here have matching faces, matching smiles, and matching sandals parked outside the door? And then she said, "In the Philippines, everyone is family." Everyone. Neighbors, family, friends, family, childhood playmate. Family. Someone who once borrowed a calculator in 3rd grade. Family. The taxi driver you talked to for 5 minutes. Family. A stranger who likes your TikTok video. Honestly, family. I asked her, "Okay, but where do you draw the line?" And she said, "When someone steals your Jollibee Chicken Joy." So apparently I wasn't just visiting a friend. I was merging into a whole ecosystem of family-based chaos. The next week, things escalated. I went to a Filipino party, a birthday party for a 5-year-old. I thought maybe 10 people would be there. There were 100. 100 people. For a kid who can't even read yet. And about 75 of the people at that party were cousins. I asked one of the women, "Oh, so you're the child's cousin?" And she said, Cousin Lang? Meaning, sort of, kind of, maybe? Why not? Then I asked who the child's real cousins were. Nobody knew, nobody. At this point, I'm convinced Filipinos don't do family trees. They do family forests. with unlimited branches, no logic, no boundaries, just pure love and chaos. Later that night, I asked the birthday boy's mom, "How did all these people become cousins?" And she said, "That one is a cousin because her mother and my mother were classmates before. That one is a cousin because our dads were neighbors before. That one is a cousin because we took Zumba together. That one is a cousin because she..." S, the daughter of a friend of my brother who married the niece of. I stopped her because I could actually feel my brain melting. Then something even wilder happened. I was sitting at the buffet table eating lumpia when a woman tapped my shoulder and said, "Eat, kumain ka pa." "Big sister, eat more?" I told her politely, "Oh, I'm not Filipino." And she smiled and said, "It's okay, you're still 8. That's when I realized there is no escape. But you know what? I kind of loved it. Because being surrounded by Filipinos feels like being wrapped in a giant warm blanket of love and unsolicited advice. Even if you're not Filipino, they will make sure. You ate already, you take home leftovers, you have water. You have slippers, you have a ride, you're not sad, you have dreams, you have encouragement, and you have 30 new relatives you never asked for. And just when I thought I had finally adjusted, the ultimate Filipino family experience happened. I went to a grocery store to buy milk. The cashier scanned my items, smiled sweetly, and said, "Thank you, 8. The bagger also called me 8. The guard outside called me ma'am. Then a random man passing by said, "Ingat po, 8. I said goodbye, got into a tricycle, and the driver said, "Where to, 8? And that is when I realized the truth. In the Philippines, the entire population is one big family. One giant, chaotic, emotional, loving, protective, food-sharing family. A country where everyone has a Kuya, everyone has a Tita, everyone has a Lola, everyone has a Ninong, and everyone is a cousin by default. And where I, a random American woman, somehow became part of the clan in less than a week. And honestly, I wouldn't trade it for anything, because in my country, family can feel distant. But in the Philippines, family is everywhere. Family is everyone. And even if the connection makes zero sense, it feels real. It feels warm, it feels like home,